What is going on, Jello family? Today we have the coolest car. I'm very excited to try it out. It is the Tesla Model 3 Performance 2024. So this car just came out and we are one of the first people to actually drive this car. So super excited to get our hands on it. Right now, the black version of the car, the red version of the car, the white version of the car, the blue version of the car. Right now, this car is about $56,000, I believe $55,000, and it does qualify for that EV rebate that we're seeing of $7,500, but you do need to get the base version of the car, which is kind of unfortunate because I like all the other colors of the car, and if you get those other colors, you might not get the EV rebate. So right now we have the gray version of the car. It's the free color with the all white seats. As you can see, the all white seats have the new badge associated with the car. I'm super excited to kind of just drive this car with that new badge. As you can see here, we have like that performance badge on the back of the car. It is similar to how the Model S had the plaid badge of the car. This has a performance badge with bucket seats. The bucket seats are very nice, very snug, very tight. Looks really cool. Also, the seats are they are similar, more similar to the Tesla Model S, which I've noticed is that because they're similar to the Model S seats, they have more of a sturdier fit and finish to it. I had the Model S long range, as you guys can see in the channel, and the seats are very more snug and finished. If you guys had previous Model 3s, previous Model Ys, previous version of this car, they had this very kind of like marshmallowy feel seat type to it, so it was very kind of, you know, it felt like you're sitting on a pillow or a cloud. But this, on the other hand, this car, it doesn't have that fit and finish. It's more like, it feels like more of a performance car. So your body, it's supposed to be more snug on the seats where you can actually feel the car. You can feel it like kind of hugging your body. And that's the kind of feel I get right now with this car, which I do enjoy a lot. I really like the fit and finish and feel to it. Overall, the car is a lot faster than the previous Model 3. I think you get 0 to 60 in about 3.1 or 2.9 seconds, so about 0.2 faster, which is really cool. And you have a all new, brand new updated interior. The mileage or range you're getting this is about 300 miles of range, which is about 60 miles less than your Model 3 long range rear wheel drive, or about 50 miles less than the long range or than just a normal long range for this new Model 3. So it is kind of interesting that you are sacrificing range for performance, but this car is super fast. Like, actually, like accelerating on this, you'll feel it a lot more than accelerating in your Tesla Model S long range, just because of how small this car is. The 3 is very zippy and it's very fast. Also, it's very easy to get around and park at different places. That's the one thing I like about the Model 3, is that it's easy to park. The Model S, it looks so cool, but the car is huge. Also, that Model S I have, I'm not on hardware 4. This car is on hardware 4, and honestly, I can really tell the difference between full self-driving with how good it is and how good it performs on full self-driving. So that's the one thing I do like about this car, is that the full self-driving does perform a lot better. Also, it is a lot it's a lot smoother on the suspension. Like, honestly, the suspension here feels a little better than the Model S suspension I usually have for my Model S long range, which is the refresh version, right? Even though the Model S long range is on a suspension that is an air suspension, this is Tesla's most updated suspension, where you can change it for the car, right? Previous Model 3s, they felt very bumpy suspension on the road, but this Model 3, like, it's night and day, and I really do enjoy this Model 3's kind of update on the suspension. Like, I think they did such a great job on it. So props Tesla on actually updating that and making it a lot more smoother of a suspension. One thing you'll notice too is that we have that red dot over here. That red dot turns on whenever you're trying to drive the car and you're driving the car and there's like someone on the left or right side of you. So you'll see that both on the left and right side of you whenever you're driving the car, which is pretty cool, because that was sitting there like, hey, don't switch lanes, stay in this lane. And that is like another safety feature I wish my Tesla had. But I'm pretty sure if you have a Model 3 Highland refresh, like the rear wheel drive, that will also have that safety feature, which is pretty cool. And I think it really helps out, especially if you're driving extremely long distances and you're like trying to switch lanes. Also, it just feels safer with the car, right? It's kind of fascinating. Like, I was so interested in how like the hardware would perform. I mean, if you actually can tell the difference with the car, right, with the Model S refresh and with the Model 3 performance with regards to like the hardware. And yes, you do feel the difference. It's in the performance of the car. It's like less choppy per se, because the Model S, which I have previously, it was very choppy with the full self-driving, how it performs. This, you're on your newest hardware, you're on FSD for Tesla. They've released like their software updates for everything, and it's very, very impressive with how it performs. I actually truly kind of enjoy how it performs. And the one thing I do like realize too about this, what I've noticed about coming from previous Model 3s and Model Ys, is that the screen is laggy. Now I'm on a newer screen for the Tesla. It means like the newer hardware and newer chip within the car, and the screen is a lot less laggy, which I do enjoy, because it just makes the driving experience a lot more seamless, right? There'll be times where I'm clicking on the Tesla screen, and then as I'm clicking on the Tesla screen, the screen's kind of like lagging, overheat a ton. Right now, I can tell the difference between this car. The only kind of caveat and qualm I have with this car is that when you come from a Model S, it is very spacious, right? This car, I feel very cramped up and kind of tight in this car. Like, it feels a lot smaller because it is a smaller car, right? It's supposed to be a daily driver, family sedan, but it does feel a lot smaller. The Model S looks really cool. It also has a lot of space and room within the car, so you can kind of really tell the difference with how big the car is and how spacious the car is actually. So that's one thing qualm I have about the Model 3 performance. Overall, the speed is unbeatable, right? If I were to drive this car, like going on canyons, going on raceways, like as I did when I got the car, I was driving on like a lot of mountains and stuff. It was very, very smooth, and it was very zippy, which I really enjoyed. Because it was so zippy, I really enjoyed like how fast it would go, where it would go. Like, it felt like I was driving like a race car, to be quite frank with you. Model S, like, even though it's like just as fast as this Model 3, it was kind of like, it felt like the car just wanted to go straight because of how big of the body of the car it was. Like, it was just going straight, and it felt very like just zoom straight. And it was okay, like that was cool and all, but I didn't like how when it would just go straight, like I just felt like the car felt so heavy, right? It felt so heavy going straight. This car, a lot more zippier, a lot more fun to drive, and you don't really have to worry as much with how it parking is gonna go, right? Because the Model S, because it's such a bigger car, it felt like a giant boat. It was hard to park sometimes, hard to parallel park. This car, a lot smaller, and it like just goes so much faster. And I just love how it's performing right now in full self-driving. It just allows you to have like relax a lot more. With the Model S on that previous hardware, honestly I was kind of nervous, to be quite frank with you, like, oh man, how's it gonna perform? Is it gonna do a crazy lane change? But it's just performing a lot better. And with regards to like the wheel and how it turns, I'm like enjoying it a lot more, which is kind of crazy. Like, the only thing that sucks about driving this car compared to the other Model S is that the range isn't as high. Like, my range here is about 300 compared to my Model S, which is at 410, and after degradation I'm like at 380 right now, as I said in the channel.